Hello and welcome to my storybook cottage, where today I'll be talking about editing. Trimming, pruning, shaping, tidying. And yes, that means I'm going to launch into an extended metaphor. So if you don't like extended metaphors, this is probably going to annoy you. If you let your garden grow freely without any attempt to control it, you'll end up with a great big mess. And the same goes when you write. These fallen elm flower petals are really pretty, like snow, but if you're not careful, they'll smother your grass. Just like adjectives are pretty, but if you're not careful, they'll smother your sentence structure and weigh it down, slow it down. So the elm flowers have to go. Weeds are things that can be colourful or attractive, but can spread and take over. There are just too many of them. That's why they're weeds. Now, sometimes when you're writing, you get too fond of a word or a sentence structure because it's useful or interesting, but you use it way too much. So you have to weed it out, and weed out that tendency as well. When people talk about garden rooms, they're talking about variety. For example, this garden room here is different from this one here, or here. When you're writing, you also want variety in your sentence structure. If the sentences are always short, readers get tired. If they're always really long, readers get lost or bored. And that's where the gardening editing metaphor falls apart, because mass plantings tend to look really nice in a garden, but if you laid the same kind of sentence next to the same kind of sentence over and over and over again, it would be dull and clunky and lacking in style. So let's move away from the garden and move into the house and look at editing in another way, as a giant clean out. Like with this ridiculous file, for instance. This file is full of instruction booklets for pretty much every appliance we've ever had, and you know what? It needs a clear out. So let's try that. So I managed to get rid of all of this stuff. This stuff is going in the bin. This overloaded file was like a clumsy, bloated piece of writing. And now it's a leaner, cleaner piece of writing because I asked myself, do I need this? And that's what you do when you write. You keep on asking yourself, do I need this? Do I need this? And of course, when you're writing a novel, you don't just go through the folder once. You go through it over and over and over and over and over again and pick out things. So yeah. When writers talk about polishing their manuscripts, that's pretty much what they're referring to. Reading it over and over again until they've rubbed away at the prose and smoothed it out, made it sparkle. It's kind of like what I do when I polish this beautiful old silver candlestick, which was a wedding present from a friend. Trouble is, you have to keep on doing this and doing it again because the silver tarnishes, and that's not much fun. Though the result can be pretty nice in the end. If you want to do something over and over again and still have fun, a good place to go is Scenic, one of the prime tourist attractions in the Blue Mountains. It started off as a coal mine at the bottom of the cliffs, and to get there, the miners of the 19th century built what has become the world's steepest railway. This is an example of one of the earlier rail cars, and this is a slightly later one. But the ones they have now are really state-of-the-art. The trip down is like a roller coaster and so beautiful. And then to get back up again, you can take a trip on the cableway, which is also amazing. Another trip you can take is on the Skyway, Australia's first cable car, which is suspended 270 metres above the Jamison Valley and crosses from Scenic World to a spot not far from Echo Point. It passes very close to Katoomba Falls. And once you get to where you're going, you can take a trip straight back again. When you actually reach the bottom of the cliffs on the railway or the cableway, there's lots to see. A boardwalk has been built down there, so you can enjoy the temperate rainforest without leaving too much of a mark on the earth. But after a nice rambling walk, what I really wanted to do was to keep going down on the railway. And that meant going up again. And down again. And then, because I love the railway so much, back up again on the railway. I guess that when you're a writer, you have to have as much fun checking your writing over and over and over again as I did going up and down on the Scenic Railway over and over and over again. It's a big ask, but if you want to be a writer, you just have to edit and edit and edit and edit the way I've been editing this video. Anyway, I guess happy editing.